there's a thin line between having self-belief and being delusional. And I'm wondering which side of that line Amir Khan is standing on right now. Because no sooner had he narrowly scraped by Julio Diaz after nearly getting knocked out. And you've got to remember, Julio Diaz is a blown-up lightweight. No sooner had he done that, he was talking about fighting Floyd Mayweather all over again. And he's had this ambition, or you could say obsession, with fighting Floyd Mayweather for quite a few years now. When he lost to Lamont Peterson, after the fight, he was still talking about Mayweather. He then got in with Danny Garcia, got knocked out. After the fight, incredibly enough, he was still talking about fighting Floyd Mayweather. Now, 2 fights down the line, he just scrapes by Julio Diaz, and yet again, he's still talking about Floyd Mayweather. Does he have supreme self-belief? Is he after another big payday? Or is he just straight up deluded? Because Amir Khan is a wealthy man already. Does he really need the money that a Mayweather fight would give him? Is that the real motivation of it? Or is it just ambition, delusion? What is it? Because a lot of fighters fall into this trap where they can't let go of their goal. Because at the end of the day, boxing is a sport where, not only boxing, but boxing in particular, is a sport where you have to believe in yourself and ignore what everyone else tells you in order to achieve great things. A good example is Evander Holyfield. When Evander Holyfield was an amateur, he was just some, country boy, and he was taking on a lot of these guys from the big cities, Detroit and what have you. He got in there and he beat Ricky Womack, who was, almost like almost very similar to Mike Tyson in the amateurs. Yeah, he was a bully. He was a destructive puncher. Very good amateur, Ricky Womack. And he also sparred with Tyson in the Olympic trials. And at the time, Tyson was 25 pounds heavier than Holyfield in the Olympic trials. And, when he was getting in the ring with people like Womack and Tyson, people were telling him, you can't beat these guys, you're too small. You don't hit hard enough, you can't do it. But Holyfield didn't listen to all the critics. And he just went through anyway and beat Womack. And all the people who saw Holyfield spar with Tyson when they were amateurs in the Olympic trials, they said that Holyfield held his own. Some people say he more than held his own with Tyson. All right, even though he was giving away 25 pounds in weight. And that mindset continued through to the professional game with Holyfield. When he was cruiserweight champion, he said he wanted to step up to heavyweight and win the world title at heavyweight. And remember, at the time, Mike Tyson was heavyweight champion and he didn't look like he was going to lose anytime soon. People told him, you're crazy, you're not big enough to fight at heavyweight. Tyson's a killer. You want to stay where you are at cruiserweight. He didn't listen to that. He moved up to heavyweight. Now, obviously, Tyson lost his title. But Holyfield was boxing at heavyweight. People were saying, you can't punch. You're not going to win a heavyweight title. Holyfield didn't listen to them. He kept going, kept believing in himself. Knocked out Buster Douglas, who had just knocked out Tyson. Had a few more defenses of his title. Then took on Riddick Bowe, lost to Riddick Bowe. People told him again, you need to retire. Yeah, don't fight the rematch with Bowe. Bowe's too big for you. It's going to be even worse for you in the rematch. He didn't listen to them. He didn't listen to the critics. He did his own thing. He believed in himself. He came back and he beat Bowe in the rematch. All right, he went on to fight Michael Moorer. Lost to Michael Moorer. Had health issues, problem with his heart, shoulder injury. He came back, had another fight with Riddick Bowe. A couple other fights, and one fight with Riddick Bowe, got knocked out by Riddick Bowe. 12 months later, after a poor performance against Bobby Ches, he was offered a fight with Mike Tyson, which he accepted. People told him, you're crazy, don't take on Tyson. Your career's finished, Evander. Just hang up the gloves now. There's no need to fight Tyson. He's coming out of prison and he's knocking everyone out again. Don't take the fight. People were sending Holyfield get well cards before the fight Imagine that. Holyfield didn't listen to the critics. He didn't care what people were saying. He believed in himself. He went through and he beat Tyson. Right? Incredibly, in the rematch, people still believed Tyson was going to beat Holyfield in the rematch. Right? Didn't happen. Holyfield won again. Had I think 2 or 3 successful defenses of his title, and then had a draw and then a loss to Lennox Lewis. Now, since then, Holyfield has never reached the heights of his, earlier on in his career. He's never reached them type of heights. But he's still carrying on with the same mindset that got him success in the first place. He still believes that he can achieve something in boxing, that he can become a heavyweight champion again. Because he ignored the critics all his life. And by ignoring the critics, he was able to achieve great things. If he'd listened to the critics, he never would have made it. He never would have become heavyweight champion. He never would have beat Tyson. He never would have got revenge over Riddick Bowe. So it's the fact that he didn't listen to the critics is why he was able to achieve all the things that he achieved. You see? So we look at Holyfield now and we think, wow, he's past it. He's an old man. He's nearly 50 years old, or he is 50 years old. Why is he still carrying on? Well, this is why he's carrying on. Because if he'd listened to us in the first place, he wouldn't have achieved anything in his career in the first place. Yeah, so it's like a catch-22 situation. It's like the mentality, the mindset, the self-belief, which got him to the pinnacle of the sport, is the same self-belief that might damage his health in the long run. And ultimately, tarnish his legacy. And this is what boxers deal with. This is the kind of mentality that boxers have. They don't know when they're beaten. They don't know when it's over a lot of the time, because they're so used to proving the critics wrong. They've become immune to what the critics say. And like I say, I wonder if Amir Khan is going down that road, because to me, his performances seem to be deteriorating. But yet he's still focusing on this Mayweather fight. He's still focusing on being a pound-for-pound champion. And there's nothing wrong with having ambition. Nothing wrong at all. But fighting at the top level, it's very rough. And you could get hurt up there if you don't know what you're doing. He's a very young, wealthy man already. Does he really need boxing? It's interesting. I'm not here bashing Amir Khan. I got a few people on my Amir Khan, Julio Diaz post-fight video saying I was bashing Amir Khan and I'm an Amir Khan hater. I'm not an Amir Khan hater. Those of you who have followed my channel for a while will know I'm not an Amir Khan hater at all. I like to see all fighters make the most out of their ability. But as long as I've been involved in the game of boxing and following the game of boxing, to me, Amir Khan is showing signs of being a shot fighter. Maybe I'm wrong, because like I say, Evander Holyfield showed signs of being a shot fighter several times before he beat Mike Tyson. Alright? He came back and proved us all wrong. That he wasn't a shot fighter, that he still had gas in the tank. Khan may do the same thing. But I doubt it. I doubt it. But, we'll just have to wait and see if he can do it. But, that's what I'm wondering, man. That's what I'm wondering. Because there's a thin line between self-belief and delusion in the sport of boxing. You look at Audley Harrison. Audley Harrison kept coming back, trying. And you can't blame a man for trying. But there has to come a time when a man realizes that his self-belief or self-delusion is self-destructive. Yeah, there comes a time when the body can no longer carry out the will of the mind. So, I don't know, leave your comments in the comment section below. This is not really just a video about Amir Khan, but more in terms, it's more a video dealing with the mindset of boxers in general. Why boxers keep coming back, why a lot of boxers can't let the game go when everyone seems to know that it's time for them to leave. So yeah, leave your comments in the comment section below. This is Hatman, I'm out.